Welcome to my journey into another meal prep. Got a late start today, so good thing it was quick. Yes, it was quick. It only took me not even an hour. I started at 7 o'clock on the dot. When I did the first thing, I looked at the clock and it was 7 o'clock on the dot. As I'm sitting to you right now, it's just turned 7:58, and that was filming my outro and all that. So really, I got through maybe 5 till. So what we made today was, I see a hungry man looking at some stuff too. I got both things over there he'll eat. So I'll share with you if you want some of those sausage balls. I got plenty.
Alright, I'll eat them with breakfast.
Yeah, have them for breakfast, and then you won't have to bother cooking. So what I made were the sausage cheese balls, and they're not the kind with Bisquick because I'm watching my carbs. They're the kind with the almond flour. And when I made them before, we absolutely loved them. They are delicious. And I thought, you know what? That's a nice change of pace for breakfast. So we made those. And then for lunch, I made Philly cheesesteak bowls. And what I used to make this same way was just Philly cheesesteak sandwiches for us. Probably 20 years I've been making them this way. It's just we've never put cheese whiz on them because I didn't know there was a difference. You learn how to make something, it's called something, and that's how you go with it. So we've always called them Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Hold on.
Stop.
Okay, that's Flair's alarm. She's not in there. She's over on the love seat. So that's what we're having for lunch, and that's all we did. And it took us, we'll just say an hour. It took us an hour to make 4 or 5 breakfasts and 4 lunches. So I think that's a pretty good investment on a Saturday morning. Now I have the rest of my day to do whatever it is I feel like doing. So that's all we'll say about that, and we'll turn around and get started cooking. We will start this morning on our sausage and cheese balls. Now, if you have a stand mixer with the paddle, use it, because you can mix this with your hand, but your arm, unless you're strong, it's going to get tired. So this just makes it easier. So I sprayed the bowl and I sprayed the paddle, so all this won't stick to it if we can help it. And what I have in there is just 1 pound of breakfast sausage. And of course, you know, I love the nieces. And so I am going to see if I can break this up just a little bit before we start. Okay, then we have, oh, and I just spilled half my baking powder. Hold on. I'm going to wipe it right back in that bowl. We have 1 cup of almond flour and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Let's mix that in a little bit. And now we have 6 ounces of cheese. Hold on. Let me keep that from falling out. And I will, while I'm here, scrape that little bit of flour off the bottom while I got my spatula. So I was saying we have 6 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. And I'm just going to dump it all in there. And then we will mix it until it is fully combined. Okay, oh, let me unlock it. Now, everything, you can see everything. The cheese is nice and mixed in. Now you can imagine if I didn't spray that, the kind of mess I would be stuck with. Huh, literally stuck with. Okay. Now we will, and I do mine on fall because I don't like to clean up that grease, and I sprayed it. We're going to use our small cookie scoop, and I tested it before I come on here because I think my recipe says use your tablespoon scoop. This is probably a tablespoon and a third to a half, so roughly a tablespoon. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop them all out and then come behind and roll them into a ball. Now I'm just going to take them and just roll them into a nice neat little ball. I ended up getting 28 sausage balls. These will go in at 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Check on them just to make sure when they're nice and golden brown, then they'll be done. So while that is baking, I think we will start on our Philly bowls. Lord have mercy if I wasn't just talking to y'all up a storm and then my light went off. I'm like, what happened? I didn't even turn the camera on. What I have in here is this old neighborhood beefed shaved steak. When I was shopping online, I was getting the steakums because I've used steakums a million times making this same thing. I run across this that said 100% beef, no fillers, and it was cheaper. So I went with this. Now it's only 14 ounces, but that's plenty for me. So I put that in there, and you can see I broke it up a good little bit with my spatula, but you can see it is shaved. It's very, very thin. And then I just put one onion that I sliced, and I'm just breaking it up with my spatula. And I was saying don't season it, no salt or pepper, because we're going to season it after it gets cooked, and that'll just be too much. So now that I have talked to you, we will let this cook all the way. If I need to drain it, I will drain it, and then show you what we're going to do to it next. Now this part is not anything like a Philly, but this is how I've done it for probably 20 years. When I'd make our sandwiches, I would do A1, and we love it that way. So that's how I'm doing it now. And that's not going to be enough, I can tell. But never fear, there's always a backup A1 in this house. Now, if you have a favorite steak sauce, use it, and it'll taste like you like your steak to taste. Now this is ready for sandwiches if you want sandwiches. It is ready. But we're not having the bread for our prep, so hold on a minute. Now I am not sure if I'm going to get 4 or 5, but I'm going to use Cheese Whiz. Well, let's see how much. I could weigh it, but I didn't weigh my pan before. I don't feel like messing up a bowl. I know that I started with 14 ounces of meat. I added a little bit of onion. So I'll just divide 14 ounces by how many ever bowls I get. Okay, I got 4, so that will be fine. 4 of them. Now I want to put cheese whiz on it. Normally when I make my sandwiches, I've always used provolone. That's what we've always used. And then Joan says it's not a Philly if you don't use cheese whiz. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use cheese whiz because that just sounds good. So you're supposed to take it out of the jar to melt it. But I'm like, I'm going to melt it when I reheat it in the microwave. So I don't really need to melt it now. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons on each one. And that will be plenty. And you can see I said I was going to weigh and measure everything, but I'm breaking my own rule. Uh-oh, hold on. Alexa, stop. Our sausage balls are probably done. So these are ready. Now let's get our sausage balls out and see how they look. Now you can see they're nice and brown, and you see all the, I know you're kind of off, all that grease in there. That's why I put it on tinfoil, because I don't want to be bothered with it. Oh, please tell me you didn't stick. I'm going to have to get a spatula. Hold on. I'm going to use a little plastic spatula so I don't rip my foil. But I sprayed it. You didn't see me spray it, but I sprayed it. So they shouldn't be sticking, but it's that. There we go. Okay. There we go. So now we will just put these over here to drain. Alright, so there's that. Let's bring our lunch over and we'll look at what we got. Here is our breakfast, the sausage cheese balls that we made with almond flour instead of Bisquick. Now I will have 4 for breakfast. If I'm still hungry, I'll have 5. I have 28 here. I don't remember if I told you that. I have 28. And then over here is our Philly cheesesteak bowls. If you don't want to use cheese whiz, and I probably could have got by with 1 tablespoon now that I'm looking at it, but it's already on there. If you don't want to use cheese whiz, you can use provolone and just put a slice, when you put the hot meat in the bowl, put your slice of provolone on it and put the lid on it and just let it sit there and steam melty. And that way it'll melt a little bit easier when you pop it in the microwave. So that's what we're having for lunch. And that is what we're having this week. I hope it helps me stay on plan. And I hope if you're prepping something today, you're prepping something good. And I will see you. I have a video coming up tomorrow for our next Prep Once, Eat Twice. So hope to see you then.